To begin our conversation, Shannon Taylor, Professor Irwin Corey, and Lenni Brenner. So whoever wants to jump on it, take it.
Well, there is a establishment of Israel, a reestablishment, a rebirth of Israel in 48.
I say that the United States was built on two things: genocide and slavery. We killed the Indians and took their land and called them merciless, savages Indians. We killed them and they called us, we called them savage Indians.
What's this got to do with what we were talking about, the religion? And
what difference does it make?
Well,
anything you talk about can excite new ideas in persons and deviate from a subject which they know nothing about.
Well, it certainly has to do with Florida, where I was, because the Seminole Indians were chased away from every place in the grab of land during the Seminole Wars. There was 20 years of wars in Florida. People don't know about this. 20 years of wars in South Florida. There was a few thousand Indians, and over 50,000 troops were sent by President Tyler and his successors, and they finally realized that after they lost close to 2,000 soldiers and spent $12 million, and there's less than 3,000 Indians, that they had enough, and they took most of them and exiled them west. And a few hundred survived, and the rest that lived existed to eventually build that terrible road that cut through the Everglades and connected Tampa with Miami.
The Tamiami Trail.
The Tamiami Trail, you know.
There was an article in the Wall Street Journal either today or yesterday, I collect a bunch of them at a time and read them, on the Cherokee Sequoia, who invented a Cherokee alphabet.
Sure.
Okay. The Cherokees went from illiterate to more literate than the whites around them.
Absolutely.
Okay? I mean, that's how fast they picked up, you know, once he invented their alphabet. And Andrew Jackson, a Democrat, by the way, you remember that, a Democrat, deported them all to Oklahoma.
Well, you know,
I mean, this is a crime.
On a forced march.
Right.
That's a $20 bill.
Yeah, and you know, let me tell you something. There's something really, as a historian, okay, I really get furious at the idea that they just turned the official name of the Triborough Bridge is the Robert Kennedy Bridge now, all right? Bobby Kennedy's the guy that wiretapped Martin Luther King, which is a crime against the Constitution. They knew it when they changed the name.
Didn't he ever change a heart, though?
No. Oh, listen, let me tell you my Bobby Kennedy story. This really happened to me, okay? It was the day before he was shot, okay? I'm walking out of Ramparts magazine in San Francisco, and I'm walking down the block, and all of a sudden you hear a noise, okay? And what it is, it's a caravan. Bobby Kennedy is campaigning. This is, you know, et cetera, et cetera. See, he stops at a corner where there's like a sharp drop. This is San Francisco, you know, sharp hill drop, okay? And first he's waving at the people on the other side. Now, understand, while he's waving at them, I'm looking at him. His hair is glowing, okay? And his cheeks are like pink red, okay? And he's waving first at the other side of the street. Then he turns in my side of the street. I happen to be the only one there. And he's waving at me, you know. I mean, he's just waving at people, you know, he's campaigning. Yeah, you know. And I go, who rules China? And he looks at me. I go, who rules China? And he goes like this, you know. And then all of a sudden, it's like in a comic book when the guy gets a bright idea and the light bulb goes on over his head. All of a sudden, he starts to smile, and he waves at me to come to the car. Now, understand, he doesn't really quite know where he is. I'm defending him. You know, I mean, he's touring. I know where we are because I live there. You understand? You know, so I don't go into the street because I know the light's about to change. You know, but he interprets it as like I didn't come out to his.
As his beckoning.
Yeah, right. And he's so happy. Then the car starts and goes down the hill. All right. That I ran back to Ramparts where Bob Scheer was there. That's what I was there for, was to talk to Scheer. And I said, "Whoa."
How about Horowitz? Did you work with him?
No. I mean, it just. I mean, literally, I just come from Scheer, and this happened, and I went back to Scheer because I wanted to know what's this rosy red cheeks. And he says, pink ice. Okay. Now, I don't remember if I asked what the thing was in the hair, but in those days, a lot of men wore goo in their hair. Yeah. So that wasn't what startled me, but the pink ice. Now, you know, it looks so my picture of him is so artificial. Now, the next day he was assassinated, you know. Now, as it happened...
Well, was it makeup?
Yeah, apparently... What at that time they were wearing, some of the politicians were wearing it for photo ops. Okay.
They always wore makeup. I saw Nixon like that.
All right. But apparently that went out of style.
He didn't have makeup.
Yeah,
right.
apparently
they went around actually wearing thick pancake makeup.
All right.
A primitive type of makeup.
Yeah.
But let me ask this, because RFK, didn't he have a role, RFK, wasn't he a partner or associate of Roy Cohen or with the whole Rosenberg?
Oh, yeah, look, they were all...
What was his role
the Kennedy, first of all, old man Kennedy, the father, was an old Irish Catholic anti-Semite, okay? But when, you know, as the politics changed as a result of World War II, the Kennedy shifted, et cetera, and they began to move out of that Catholic bag. You know, that's why Bobby moved from Boston to New York, you know, get away from that stupid Catholic nonsense. Talk to some liberal Jews. And,
Professor Corey, let me throw it to you for a minute, because you're knowledgeable of that whole repression that occurred in the 50s. You worked in show business, and you knew a lot of friends, I'm sure, people, colleagues who were very much hurt because they were forced to answer that question, whether they were or were not a member of the Communist Party. And I was just wondering if there's anything that folks today can learn from those experiences that you witnessed.
Well, I don't know. The Communist Party in the United States is still a legal party. And ever since the dissolution, we find that in the United States, we have a slogan, one nation, indivisible. I heard that same slogan when Yugoslavia said, one nation, Yugoslavia, indivisible. So what we do as a country, indivisible, we divide our allies. We divide Korea, we divide Czechoslovakia, we divide Yugoslavia, we divide Russia, but what do we unite? We unite the two Germanys. We unite our enemies and divide our allies, don't we? Russia lost 40 million citizens and military. United States, 291,000.